Well, how's everybody? Hope you're all doing well. Uh, I've decided I'm going to speak on patience today. Big word. Um, lately, I am. What's going on with my own life is I'm currently going to be going up to Mount Diablo, go camping, and broadcast the Alpha Marker out to the city for a state of induction that will radiate peace. And I've had to have a lot of patience for this thing to be completed. That's one example of patience. Uh, I've had chronic kidney disease. As many of you know, I've been in the hospital, in and out of that, and it takes quite a bit of patience to understand that healing takes time, and it's not on my time. It's not on your time. It's on his time. So when that gets completed, only the Father knows. A lot of times, patience, people want things so quickly. They want immediate effects. And I've recently been blessed with immediate effects, well, from this thing, but before that, there was a vast sea of maybes. Everything was in a superposition. And what people don't understand with manifestations and patience is there is patience required after the manifestation begins, and that is called the gestational period, where you'll send an intention out. And while your manifestation or want is forming, you have to understand that it takes time for it to be mirrored back to you in the 3D physical. So between that time, people begin to get impatient, and it's usually right before the manifestation actually is ready to take form in their life that they lose faith in it, and it goes away. This is not saying have a false identity of you know, upbeat, happy-go-lucky. I understand the world sucks at times. That's where it's up to us to have patience. Again, patience with each other, patience with your manifestations, and patience with Father. Nothing is on our time. So what you can do is realize that fact and work with what you got. Now, whether that be being kinder to people, being more open, or, yet dare I say it, just being more patient. Not everyone is going to work at the same speed you work at. And I'm guilty of this myself greatly. A lot of times I personally, example with journey I've been on, I think that a lot of people, I lose sight of the fact oftentimes that why aren't people on the same page I'm on? Patience. People will eventually get where I'm at, but you need to have patience. And again, this is why I've decided to speak on this. And a lot of people get unsettled and restless, and they let that unsettled restlessness get hold of them to where they want to actually take action and do something. And it's okay to take action as long as those steps are proactive while you're waiting. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with preparing for something. But when you're trying to force an outcome, that's where things get fucked up. Forcing outcomes will never really lead to a positive result. Even if you think it will later on, you're not looking further down the road than the immediate there's 5 or 6 steps down the road where you're like, oh shit, there's 5 or 6 consequences that came with that forcing that I wasn't aware of. And that's all I'm saying. I just, with patience, it's if you were to take saving is a great way to think of it. If you were to take $100 and throw it in an account, you're not going to get a big return on that $100 in your savings account in the next few days. But if you have patience and you wait, say, 30 years because you've had patience, well, that's going to accrue and accrue and accrue and accrue in value. And you can do this spiritually as well. Have a spiritual savings account, in a sense. If you get what I'm saying, like, patience is the ability to look at something and saying, yeah, I don't see the result yet, but I'm willing to wait until something happens. I've taken all the proactive steps that I can take without forcing the outcome. Now I just have to wait. And this is where people have problem with also with receiving. Because oftentimes we get so caught up in the wanting of something, of a result. And when it comes, we're still in that survival phase of wanting something. And you can't see that the result has already yielded itself. And once you have that goal yielded to you, you're still on the lookout for something you've been patiently waiting for. And that is the aspect of, there's nothing wrong with that. It's allowing yourself to understand that it's okay to receive, and it's okay to take a step back. It's okay to take a day off. It's okay to pump the brakes. Okay? The only time it's go time is when someone like the Father plants a bug up your ass and says, I want you to do this now. Then you better do it. That goes with me as well. I had no intention of making a video today, but something told me to get on here and speak on this. So I did. So this is my version of patience, that I'm doing what I'm told, and I'm doing everything I can up until tomorrow, where I understand tomorrow is going to be a high interest yield rate for something that we are broadcasting to the world. And I'm very excited about that. I've done all the prepping I can do. We are prepping tonight for the camping trip that we're going to take. We are doing everything that we can possibly do without forcing a result. Tomorrow, when it's time to go to the campsite, we'll go there and we'll broadcast, and we'll see what happens. I'm pretty excited, and I'm in a state of excited expectancy, but a peaceful one. Not that, oh man, this has to happen now. This has to happen now. If nothing happens, then so be it. That's okay. Sometimes nothing is the most profound thing to actually happen. And a lot of people don't understand that sometimes that with nothing happening doesn't mean it's empty. Usually it means there's an underlying fact that you're not catching. And a lot of times it's where you have to take a step back and see things for what they are and understand that, okay, what is this moment trying to teach me? What is he trying to teach me? Or what is he trying to show me? And that's really all I came on here to say, is in our everyday lives, with everyday people that you deal with, try to give yourself, first and foremost, more patience. And in turn, give other people more patience. Be patient with those that you're around, because not everybody's going to get what you're trying to convey or what you're trying to do right off the bat. Sometimes you have to explain and dumb certain things down because not everybody is going to see, again, from your perspective or your point of view. All these things I talk about, they all kind of run in tandem with each other, if you notice. And it's like a giant wheel. If one of these things is out of alignment, then the wheel isn't going to turn right. It's going to get jumbled up and it's going to start turning back on itself and might pop off the spoke of reality, you know? Think of it as a giant gear going towards a clock or something like that. That clock is not going to run right. No machine is going to run right if one of those things with patience or perspective or with understanding or acceptance is not going to work correctly if one of those things is out of alignment. If your soul is out of alignment with your body, or your mental is out of alignment with your soul, it's not going to work right. Things aren't going to work. And that one sentence I just said, that is something that I've learned you have to pretty much delete out of your everyday physical vocabulary as a one-on sentence, that things won't work to things are working. And the only way you do that is by going within yourself, sitting with yourself. And when people say things to you that you find offensive, try to take a look at yourself internally and ask yourself one very important question. Are they right? I try to do that. I'm not saying I do that all the time, because I don't. Oftentimes I try to. And when we incorporate someone else's ideas, that someone says something about us that might be messed up, when you do that internal check to see if they're right, or to see if there is something out of line with yourself, it's kind of like a safety check, I like to think of. And when you have the patience to do that with yourself, you can have a lot more patience to deal with other people as well. And a lot of people think of other people as a chore. And oftentimes they're not so much a chore. They're just not on the same page as you. And you have to have patience in order to teach them or to show them where you're coming from. That way you can work together in tandem and yield the result. Now, oftentimes, you're not going to want to work with someone. Sometimes you don't have patience for someone. That's okay, too. There are certain times, and use your discernment accordingly. When you lack patience with something, I think it's perfectly okay not to have patience with something that you've explained and had patience previously to explain something to someone. And if they're just being stubborn and not getting it, and you lack the patience, you know what? If someone's trying to steal from you or hurt you because they're just not you and they're trying to copy you or something, then yeah, I don't have patience for people like that. Because I've already tried once to explain something to them. They don't want to get on board. Well, therefore, my patience has run out. But as far as extending common courtesy and patience in a whole, it's a very fine-tuned line. I think that this world could use more patience. A lot of people are looking for unified, ultimate, immediate gratification of something. The world doesn't work like that. I myself am looking forward to getting a house some point in the future. I have no idea when. I'd love to move out of this apartment, because this apartment was great for as staging ground for what it was. It served its purpose, and now is kind of grown too small for me. I understand that, but I also understand the patience required to understand that now it's in a gestational period of waiting for that. And whenever the Father deems for that to be brought to me, that's when it will occur. Now, can I take proactive steps to ensure that that manifestation comes in? Yes. Without forcing an outcome, yes, I can. That is where patience comes in. Again, patience is a huge word, especially when dealing with God. God is by far the definition of patience. I myself 3 years ago was an atheist, and I was an ungrateful little bastard. I can say that. And I'm very grateful that he had enough patience not to write me off. I'm very, very grateful for that. I was very stubborn. I thought I knew better. And in my own arrogance and my beliefs, I had to have proof of everything, immediate proof, for me to believe anything. And now that I've witnessed that proof, he has not just turned me into a follower, he has made me a witness and an heir. And has given me the patience to take a step back and see all this. Now, if I would have looked at if you go back to the very first video, even here on YouTube, and you go back to the very first video, I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew that he said to get on YouTube and start making a channel. I had no idea what I was doing. I was smoking like a chimney, and I was still on drugs. I was a hot mess, you know. And the contrast from who I was then to who I am now, night and day. And I am so happy and grateful to our Father that he has had the patience to deal with me, because it took a mountain of patience to get me to be here. But now that I am here and understand, leaps and bounds, my friend. Like, fuck leaps. We're talking like plane trips as far as distance goes. So I'm very grateful for that. And that's what I mean by patience. Sometimes when I started this channel, I had no idea what it would yield or what it would bring or who I would interact with or what I would interact with. No idea. And having the patience to allow him to bring in revelation after revelation after revelation and allow myself to transform, and having the patience with myself, I can say that I'm pleasantly, I'm very pleased with the result. And I know I'm still transforming, and I know I'm still evolving. So I'm continuing to have that patience, and I'm very grateful that he continues to have his patience, because for what the original blueprint of everybody has, for him to bring you back to that blueprint, that's a work in itself. But yet, having the understanding that he is a God that specializes in the impossible, he has done the impossible, especially with me. And I am an eyewitness to that. From people that I've lost throughout the years, to situations, identity theft, this, that, and the other. Patience has been a huge, huge asset and a huge hurdle at the same time, because it's given me a constitution that I can rely on him, and that's all I do, rely on. And I understand that with patience and an expectant heart is better than a heart trying to just yield things and just trying to get things. So hopefully that made sense to you. And hopefully that made someone's day, and hopefully that helps someone out. Try to have more patience with yourself. Understand we are all our work in progress. We're all not done. The moment you think that you know everything, the moment we lost the game. So try to keep that in mind. Have more patience with yourself. Have more patience with your neighbor. And try to extend them that grace and yourself that grace. That it's okay. And it's okay to take a day off. It's okay to relax. You know? Till then, see you. Namaste.